are going to start with, what number are we on? P32. Please silence your phones if you have not done so.
P32 was previously published in the October 2nd, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times for the meeting of December 10th, 2024, where it was continued to today.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Nectario Spitos, Planning Development Economic Growth. Item P32 is PDE 250050. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan to change the future land use map from Res 6 to residential 6 dwellings per gross acre to IL Industrial Light on about 1.8 acres on the southeast corner of the intersection of Alderman Lane and Rowan Road. This is a request for a continuance to a date uncertain.
Move to continue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did I have to see if anyone wanted to speak to it? We advertised it as a continuance.
Yep.
Okay.
P33 was originally published in the August 7th, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times for a meeting on September 3rd of 2024, where it was continued to October 8th, where the meeting was canceled due to Hurricane Milton. The item appeared on the November 12th, 2024 board meeting, where it was continued to today.
Item P33 is PDE 250060. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan to change the future land use map from Res 3, residential 3 dwellings per gross acre, and AG agricultural to PD plan development on approximately 100.8 acres located at the southeast intersection of US 41 and Leland Avenue, about 1.1 miles north of State Road 52. This is known as the Fletcher Comprehensive Plan Amendment. This is requested, the applicant has requested a continuance to the March 25, 2025 meeting in Newport Richey at 1:30 p.m.
So why does it say south, south of 41 and Leland, not south of 41 and 52?
Correct.
Okay, that was a little misleading for me. Okay, I'll take a motion for continuance.
Move to continue.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. P34.
P34 was advertised in the January 1st and January 5th, January 1st, January 8th, and January 15th, 2025 editions, and the January 22nd, 2025 editions of the Tampa Bay Times.
P34 is PDE 250034. This is an ordinance establishing Northridge Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for powers and duties of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote.
Okay, board members, any discussions? Is there anyone here that wishes to speak to this item?
We have no one signed up either in person or on online.
All right, roll call vote.
Move for approval.
Second.
Oh, yeah, we need that. Okay, roll call vote.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chair Starkey.
Aye. Okay, P35.
35. We have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times, November 6, 2024, and supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P35 is PDE 250046. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 in sheet 3, from COM commercial to Res 6, residential 6 dwelling units per gross acre, on approximately 2.57 acres of real property located at the corner, at the northwest corner of the intersection of Hudson Avenue and Hicks Road, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, provided for repealer, severability, and effective date. This comes to you with a recommendation to approve the proposed comprehensive plan amendment and adopt the ordinance by roll call vote. We have a presentation if so desired.
Okay, any discussion? Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to this item?
No one has signed up in advance.
Move approval. Second.
Roll call vote.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chair Starkey.
Aye. P36.
P36, we have proof of publication, Tampa Bay Times, January 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd, 2025.
Item P36 is PDE 250085. This is an ordinance establishing the Two Ridges Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for powers and duties of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date. This comes to you with the recommendation to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote.
All right, board members, any questions? Is there anyone here to speak to this item?
We have no one signed up in advance.
Move approval. Second.
Roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. P37, and so we will now take up our zoning rules. Do you want to share that with the public?
You want me to read the procedures?
Yes.
I'll be happy to. There are
Thank
two rezoning agendas, regular and consent. Staff will present each application to the Board of County Commissioners. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended approval and there's no opposition, the application will be considered by the board without further presentation. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended denial, or if there is opposition to the application, the applicant will be given 5 minutes for presentation. The opposition will be given 3 minutes for each individual or 5 minutes for a group representative, and the applicant will be given 3 minutes for rebuttal. Any individual disagreeing with staff or planning commission recommendation, or anyone wishing to object to any condition of the rezoning, may at this time request that the petition be pulled from the consent agenda, in which case that application will be heard under the regular agenda later on during the meeting. Otherwise, all rezoning applications on the consent agenda will be approved by a single motion and vote. If you wish to speak to any petition, please give your name and address and whether or not you've been sworn for the record. These are quasi-judicial public hearings. The law in Florida is that mere public support or opposition of an application is insufficient for this board to take action. Please limit your comments to those criteria found within the board's land development code for rezoning. Mr. Clerk, would you like to swear the public in?
Yes, sir. Anyone who is wishing to speak to any of the items on the zoning agenda, if you would please stand. Again, if you intend at any point in the next few moments to speak to any of the items on the rezoning agenda, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you, and each of you, swear or affirm the testimony you will give in these matters is the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Please, when you come forward, give your name and address at the podium and also acknowledge that you have been sworn. Thank you.
Okay, P37.
P37. We have proof of public, this is going to take
We're
glasses.
spending a fortune on this public notice.
Yeah. We have proof of publication in the May 1st, 2024 edition for the June 18th, 2024 board meeting, where it was continued to August 21st, where it was continued to September 3rd, where we were the meeting to October 8th, where the meeting was canceled due to Hurricane Milton. The item appeared on the November 12th, 2024 board meeting, where it was continued to today.
Move continuance, or you got it?
Item P37 is PDE 257739. This is a zoning amendment for the Fletcher MPUD, which is the companion, zoning companion to the comprehensive plan amendment, which was just continued. This is a recommendation of continuance. The applicant has requested a continuance from today's date to March 25, 2025 in Newport Richey. This is a different date than what's listed in the agenda memo.
Okay, so we are going to continue this, but is there anyone here that wishes to speak to this?
If they do, they won't be able to speak.
All right, because our
Move
rules are
approval.
that if you speak today, you cannot speak at the next meetings, just to let you know, but no one's coming forward.
Move
Do we have
approval.
anyone online?
No, ma'am, not for this matter.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move approval. Second.
All in favor?
Move to continue
Oh.
to time certain?
Yeah.
Time certain?
Yeah, March
Yes.
25th.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. P38.
P38, this item was published in the August 28th, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times and continued from the October 22nd, 2024 meeting to December 10th, where it was continued to today.
Okay.
Item P38 is PDE 257818. This is a zoning amendment in the name of HCM Hospitality LLC, which is a change in zoning from a C2 general commercial district to an MF1 multiple family medium density district to an MF1 multiple family medium density district in west central Pasco County on the east side of US Highway 19, 950 feet south of State Road 52. This is a requesting continuance to the February 25, 2025 Board of County Commissioners meeting at 1:30 p.m. in Newport Richey.
Okay, is there, again, anyone that wishes to speak to this today? If you do, then you
No,
cannot.
this was advertised as
Oh,
a
this one was
continuance.
advertised?
You don't have to,
You have to do
go
that one.
through that. Yeah.
Okay?
We do
Then-
have one person online, but I believe they're a representative of the applicant.
Okay,
Mr.
It's
President?
being continued, so.
Move to continue, time certain.
Second.
all right. I'm assuming that the applicant does not want to speak.
Well,
They don't have to.
they don't have to.
Okay, I know they don't have to, but if they want to, do I have to let them?
No.
Okay, you can't speak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's a different.
All right, P39.
P39 was advertised in the November, or posted in the November 6th, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times.
P39 is PDE 257840. This is a zoning amendment in the name of Rowan Road LLC, Deeb Industrial, which is a change in zoning from a PO2 professional office district to an I1 light industrial park district. At the southeast corner of the intersection of Rowan Road and Alderman Lane, it contains approximately 1.8 acres. It's not right on the corner, it's just north of that corner. But it's a request to continue to the March 25, 2025 Board of County Commissioners meeting at 1:30 p.m. in Newport Richey.
And I'm going to guess this is the same thing since we advertised it. So unless the applicant wants to speak, we'll take a motion to approve.
Move continuance.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
P40.
Beginning the consent agenda. P40, we have proof of publication in the November 6th, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
P40 is PDE 257785. This is a zoning amendment in the name of New York Avenue Business Park LLC, Diagonal Road Business Park, which is a change in zoning from a R2 low-density residential district and C2 general commercial district to an I1 light industrial park district in northwest Pasco County at the southeast corner of the intersection of Diagonal Road and New York Avenue, containing approximately 16.84 acres. This comes to you with the recommendation to adopt the zoning amendment, and there is a presentation if so desired.
Chair,
Yes,
just a question.
sure.
Trust but verify, live local act provisions on this?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Looking for the map. Board members, any questions on this one? And is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak against this item? All right,
Leave it
seeing
on
no one,
consent.
we'll leave it on consent. Anyone online?
No one online for
Okay.
that matter.
P41?
P41, proof of publication, November 6th, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times, supplemented by certified, affidavit of certified mailings and site posting.
Item P41 is PDE 257794. This is a zoning amendment in the name of Lake Park MPUD, Hudson Avenue Land Company. This is a rezoning request from a C2 general commercial district, general commercial zoning district, and MPUD master plan unit development district to a new MPUD master plan unit development district to allow for the development of up to 100 single-family detached dwelling units and associated infrastructure on approximately 57.4 acres located in northwest Pasco County, directly north of Hudson Avenue and directly west of Hicks Road. It's right on the intersection, northwest corner. This comes here with a recommendation to approve the rezoning request with conditions, and there's a presentation if so desired.
Board members, would you like to see a presentation?
It's a consent item, isn't it, or not?
Yeah, it's consent.
It's a consent item.
I know, but you can still pull it off if you have questions. Okay, well, is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak to this item? Okay, we'll leave it on, anyone online?
No.
Okay, we'll leave it on consent. And that might be the end of my consent agenda.
One more for consent.
Yeah,
Oh,
one more.
okay.
42.
Oh, I circled that one.
P42, proof of publication, Tampa Bay Times, November 6, 2024, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P42 is PDE 257841. This is a zoning amendment to the name of Citrical Alliance LLC, which is a change in zoning from a AC agricultural district and a C2 general commercial district to a AC agricultural district and a C2 general commercial district in west central Pasco County on the south side of Ridge Road, approximately 1/4 mile east of Little Road, containing approximately 9.92 acres. This comes through with a recommendation to adopt the zoning amendment, and there's a presentation if so desired.
Anyone want to question this one? Okay, is there anyone in the public who'd like to comment on this? Anyone online?
No,
to
ma'am.
Speak against? All right, we'll leave it on consent, and we will take a motion for consent.
Move consent items approval. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, P43.
P43, we have proof of publication in the Tampa Bay Times, January 1st, 2025, and January 8th, 2025.
Good afternoon, Joanne Rovita, Real Property Division. The Real Property Team has received a petition to vacate a portion of a platted ingress-egress easement, a utility easement, and the rear lot lines of lots 41 and 42 of Shooting Star Court by Sunfield Homes and Orsi Development. The purpose of the vacation is to enable the petitioners to create buildable lots for future residential construction. There were no objections to this petition, and the team recommends approval.
Okay, this is my district. Actually, no one spoke to me about this one. What is the land behind there?
It's owned by both developers.
Well, both of those developers, same family. But what is it?
It's, my understanding is that it is just currently vacant land that they were going to develop, but they realized that they could not develop it, so they wanted to remove the egress easement so that they could develop the two residential lots in the front.
Well, I'm just wondering, is that land, can you pull up the map?
Yes.
Is there any value to keep access to that land? Could it become a park or anything like that?
I'm
The land behind
uncertain
it.
of that. I'm hoping that there might be representatives of
Is
the
that-
OC.
Yeah, just curious.
Yep.
I'm looking at the map, but it's not so hot here, my map.
Name and address for the record, please.
Patricia Buck, Orsi Development, Sunfield Homes, 9040 Trifon
And you have
Boulevard,
been sworn.
A104 Trinity, and I have been sworn in.
Thank you.
The land, originally, when we platted this in 2002, we retained the tract in the back for future development. That's what it shows on the plat. I have a bigger drawing, if that helps any. So we still own that parcel, and we also own parcels, or lot 41 and 42. Originally, we tried to do some development plans, and they were opposed not only by the HOA, but also by the county. So at this point.
On those two lots, how can they?
No, not on the lots, on the land in the
Okay,
back.
and can we see a different view of this so we can get the context of what's around it?
I have something, if I could approve, I could
Move
give
to
you guys.
receive and file.
There's
All in
a,
favor?
Aye.
it's a drawing that, if you look at the pink area.
Can you switch that, are you switching that to Google Earth or Pasco Mapper or something? Probably Pasco Mapper's better. And I know that, is this the land that you approached us to maybe see if we could get it along the river?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not here, is he?
So if you look at the pink area, that's the tract 20. That was the future development tract. And what we've done is we've basically split it in half and attached it to lot 41 and lot 42. So our goal is to sell those two platted lots, but right now the easement between the lots instead of having a 7.5-foot side yard setback, you have a 17.5. So with a pie lot, you've got almost no building pad.
Yeah.
So because we can't use the back, all we're trying to do is make the units that are there more buildable.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
no longer needed anymore.
All right, so this doesn't back up to this is in a different place than I was thinking. Can you zoom out? So there's no upland land
No,
back there?
it's all in the floodplain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the reason why I showed you the green area, because as you can see, each of those green tracks are HOA tracks, and the green going between the lots is the access to the green tracks as platted. So this particular easement doesn't have anything to do with the HOA. It was something that we were required to do during plat in order to have access, ingress, egress, and utilities for the future development, which, as I said, is no longer happening.
There was a time when, I know when this used to be our property.
Yes.
that There was a hope that somewhere this would connect back to Starkey Boulevard instead of everyone going up. You know, there was only one exit, although I do hope to connect Amazon and Anaconda. David Engel, that's the piece I was showing you right there. There's a little spike strip there from left over that now, I think we might own it now, we can do that connection. So, there's no useful land behind there and no
No.
reason to not approve this. I would entertain a motion. Let's do a question? Yeah.
Yeah, just a question. So the area that's marked pink on, I guess those are lots? You're not going to build on those two lots?
No, we are going to build on Lot 41 and 42. We still own those.
Right.
And the pink tract is now basically divided in half. Half of it goes with 41 and half of it goes with 42. You can't see that on there.
But you can see it.
Right where the easement is, if you continue to draw the line straight where it hits the top of the page, that's pretty much where it's at.
So,
So the easement's no longer needed.
okay, but I thought you said something about electric and sewer and all hookup. Is that a hookup? Can that be done with that project for this property here?
The water and sewer were built with the original project. They're at the front lot line and the utility easement for 41 and 42. There's two stub outs, one for
Right.
each lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll connect those for these lots behind?
Well, there is no lot in behind. It's just the land behind will go with the lot in the front.
So,
Okay.
what's been, have people been trespassing back there on your property? Because I see,
What do you think?
oh, yeah, I bet I could see those little guys on those motorcycles back there if I look real close that.
Well, and this will help that. Once
Yeah, it
we
will.
get the two
Yeah.
lots in the front with real houses built there and somebody owns the land in the back, you won't have that.
Yeah,
So basically, that part in the pink is not buildable? You
Uh,
won't build that out? I'm
Well,
not talking
there's
about
a-
the lots. I'm
there's a
talking
little
about
bit
the
of
big
high and
property.
dry, but it's gonna go with the lots.
Right.
Yeah,
So they'll have a,
Right.
but they won't build back
they
there.
can build an
You
ADU
can't
back
build
there.
residential
build back, okay.
back there,
Hey,
correct.
they
Yeah,
could put an
that's
ADU
good.
back there.
Yeah. That's pretty good for those lots, too.
Yeah, we have some lots like that in Aristida that
Yeah.
happen to go way back, just because of the way the layout was. So,
That looks good.
okay, is there anyone else in the public that wishes to speak to this?
Approval.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
P44, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the January 15th, 2025 edition of the Tampa Bay Times.
All right, P44.
Been waiting, Nick.
Good afternoon,
And I-
Commissioners.
Justin.
Nick Uren, County Engineer, and yes, this has been a long time coming. Let's see. A brief presentation on this. We're taking ownership from the state of two corridors, State Road 581, also known as Bruce B. Downs, between 56 and 54, and then all of State Road 54 from Bruce B. Downs to US 301. The map on the screen shows you the limits of the jurisdictional transfer, and I should say we are taking jurisdiction, not ownership. I had our county attorney staff correct me on my language previously. We are accepting jurisdictional responsibility. Want to mention too, as part of this agreement, what I'm calling DOT parting gifts. There will be 3 different projects that will be accomplished by the Department of Transportation, by FDOT, after the transfer occurs. They are going to be resurfacing Bruce B. Downs. They're going to be resurfacing a portion of State Road 54 at the west end, and they're going to be resurfacing a portion of State Road 54 at the east end. I also wanted to mention that they had recently completed earlier this, this past calendar year, they completed the widening to 4 lanes of the middle section of 54. So we're getting a set of facilities that are in very good condition as a result of this transfer agreement.
I do have a question. Where are we on the widening of West Chapel Boulevard? Oh, no, that's Bruce B. Downs, never mind. But I do have that question, but not here.
So Wesley Chapel Boulevard, the widening west of I-75 is under construction.
Okay, good.
Madam Chair?
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's awesome or not, because the next resurfacing we're going to have to take care of. So I'm just,
We are roads. We're trading 56 for all of this.
but I mean, why I don't understand why 581's in the mix. 581 goes north-south and it goes all the way
I
down
don't know,
to
they have
Tampa.
this trade thing that happens. We did that on
It's not a mile
54.
for mile, but what you end up with is the agreement that was established to construct 56 as a continuous corridor from Bruce B. Downs to 301 was in exchange for the removal of this
Yeah.
continuous corridor, which is a
Okay.
combination of 2
All right,
roads.
so it was a pre-set up trade.
So it
Yeah.
was an established
Okay.
trade in exchange for the construction of 56.
Does
We did that
Hillsborough
on
maintain
54.
Bruce B. Downs?
We
South of
already
the-
maintain Bruce B. Downs
No,
to the
I mean,
south.
south of the county line.
South
Oh,
south to the
we
county
are-
line is already ours.
Okay,
Yes.
then that's why.
But we're getting in good shape. Okay, so do I need to take public comment on this one?
Yes.
We have one person signed up, Rachel Torres.
Okay? Come on up, Rachel.
Rachel Torres, 9907 Woodstock Lane, Port Richey, Florida, 34668. And I was sworn in.
Thank you.
I'm a student at St. Petersburg College pursuing a degree in Public Policy Administration. The proposed transfer of portions of State Road 54 and State Road 581 from the Florida Department of Transportation to our county represents a significant opportunity for local governance and development. By assuming responsibility for these roadways, we gain greater independence in planning decision-making that directly impacts our infrastructure. This means we can make timely decisions without needing state approval, allowing us to respond more effectively to the needs of our residents and businesses. Such control is essential for implementing improvements that enhance traffic flow, safety, and accessibility. These transitions align with the vision for expanding residential communities within the area. With direct oversight of these roadways, we can better integrate transportation planning with residential development, ensuring new neighborhoods are well-connected and supported by adequate infrastructure. Addressing housing shortages is a critical priority, and having the ability to streamline the development process will enable us to create more housing options efficiently. This will provide much-needed relief to families seeking homes and contribute to the overall growth and vitality of our community. Having jurisdiction over these roadways allows us to implement traffic flow improvements tailored specifically to our community needs. We can prioritize projects that reduce congestion, enhance safety, and improve overall mobility of our residents. Effective traffic management will not only make daily commutes smoother, but also support economic activity by ensuring goods and services can move more freely through the county. This proactive approach to traffic planning will contribute to a higher quality of life for our residents and make our community more attractive to potential new residents and businesses. Overall, the transfer of these roadways is a pivotal step towards building a stronger, more connected, and more livable county. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair? Hey, Rachel, before you go, Angel, would you stand up here for a second? I just want to tell you a little bit about these two right here. When the storms was coming in, and I was going around the first morning of it, and I got stuck doing from like 3 different things, and I got to a 4th place where I had the 97-year-old veteran and 99-year-old veteran. The day before, Angel had said to me, he says, if you need any help, let me know. So after probably about an hour and a half or 2 of my own, just tearing out carpet and whatever, I called them up. They were there with like 15 minutes. They stayed with me for the whole day till dark.
Wow.
Back the next day to finish the job off, where these 2 veterans could live in their house without any interruption whatsoever. They then helped all through the weeks coming up, through the Eagles, Sea Ranch, whatever was needed, they were there. And I just want to thank you guys publicly for what you did. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good job. Okay, so I'll take, is there anyone else? Take a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that
Doing
ends
good.
our public hearings for today.
Doing good, Commissioner.
Thank you. And we're on to you, Commissioner.
I
Got
like
your commissioner items and board reports,
Oh,
if you
well, I'm
have
gonna
any.
take a long time here.
Plenty of time.
Let's see what I'm gonna have here first. I've got several things this week. Had the opportunity to, 2025 emergency services recognition ceremony they had this week in Newport Richey, where it recognizes those that do exceptional in the 9/11 service area. Several winners in that, but I actually spoke, and I wasn't going to speak until, I guess, after, but I wasn't very clear when I was supposed to speak, but I took the chance to speak first. So I actually thanked each and every one of them for the work they do for our citizens. And it was a great thing that we were able to thank them and see what they do in their job. It's 911, you never know what call you're going to get, but we have exceptional leaders in amongst the group. But always, because I spoke first, I didn't know who won any of the items. But the fact of it is, I felt the same about each and every one of them doing the best job they can at 911. So, but there were a lot of good leaders and potential leaders in the future, no matter who takes that next call. So, job well done. I couldn't do that job, but they do it very well. So, I was glad to be able to be there. Also, I had a tour out to Moffett along with the rest of you to view what was going on at Moffett with the development and update there in Land Lakes, and we did that on last Friday. So very, very good info, very good feedback on what we approved and what we're looking for in the future. And it's, it's pretty amazing that when you take, what do you call that? Is it proton?
Proton, yeah?
Therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that therapy, it pinpoints down to the size of a dime, which in previous radiation treatments and all for cancer, it would do larger areas, which when it does that larger area, it kills good cells along with the bad cells. This type service will be where it takes care of individual spots that need to be done. And also, in the future, they're going to be making cell production. So, and I don't know how that works, but it's very exciting to think that they could put cells in where some of this happens, it would fill in on a person's body that had been in terrible cancer issues. So very, very, very good for the future of Pasco County, that coming in. And along with all that, you got all these new hospitals and things coming forward. Advent's putting 124 beds at Suncoast and 54 on that southwest corner there. They have a nice clinic, been doing a good job there. They're adding a 124-bed hospital to that clinic, and it will be well needed with all the growth and all the citizens we're bringing into our county. Another thing also, I'll give you an update on I didn't know if I'd have anything on Tampa Bay water, but we were talking yesterday about about our water issues, and we were taking water that's permitted, like on Agmark property out for the citrus and for also production of grass and for all that, that would move, that's basically a farm product. But we're taking those wells and moving that pumping approval there over to different areas in Tampa Bay Waters area that we actually are able to pump more water and get more water for our people.
Because they had an ag well, right?
Yeah, those were ag wells, and they were moving that, like if they had 500,000
Yeah,
gallons
get more
of
capacity.
production, they would close that off there, but move it to another
Okay.
area that they could pump out of. So I think it was about 700,000 or up to about 6 or 7 million. Eventually, when you add all that up, it really amounts to a lot of water. I get tired of hearing it from our citizens in public comment. The gentleman that came up, I know he has issues to worry about certain things, but the fact of it is, we're not out of water. We're doing a lot of things at Tampa Bay Water like this, to provide more water for our citizens. And we have water. The only people I know of in the past, or short past, that ever said anything about being short of water or out of water was city of Zephyr Hills, which is the city of pure water, which doesn't make sense. They really made a mistake, because they got people thinking they don't have water anymore, and it's going all over the county. The fact of it is, we've offered them, Mike and myself and I think David Allen at the time, we met with the city of Zephyr Hills and offered them pretty much all the water they would need in the future. So we have water in the future, and there's promises of making desal better. We'll get more water out of that eventually if we go to saltwater wells. It'll have to take salt out, but they're very deep wells and provide water cleaner, cheaper to use in desal than what we do now. So those are projects we're looking at in the future, and even another reservoir. Our reservoir, I think, is at 15.4 billion gallons as of yesterday. I think they were going to hit the 15.5 billion is what it holds, but that's very close. But we can copy, we have the land out there to copy that reservoir, and I think that's one of our better projects we need to be doing for the future of our county.
So have they?
And it's really Tri-County, actually.
Yeah. Do we know what's going to happen with the Howard Curran water that's been dumping into the bay yet? Who's on you guys are on the,
We're both on that.
Yeah.
any answers from that one yet?
No, I hadn't heard anything about that.
Well, when's their deadline?
Couple years. Yeah, it's be a couple
Okay,
years.
well.
I'll give you what I gave, because I commented on that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And,
yes.
He can add to
you know,
what I'm
it's
saying.
it's tough when you sit in the board with Commissioner Oakley, 'cause he's always jumping in there right away. But always good information.
We'll get to you then on yours, and you can mention that.
We've got
Does
2
that
or
work?
3 years
Okay.
to choose the next projects that will actually add water to our present system. Right today, a lot of people don't realize that
That's
that
right.
15.5 billion gallon reservoir, you can pump into it 200 million gallons a day, and you can use out of it 200 million gallons. That's what our Tri-County area is actually using out of it.
It's
In our water system, it's about 200 million gallons.
Yeah.
Yep, a day, so.
So, Madam Chair, if you want, let
Very
me just
important.
tie right into what he's saying, because, so the Howard Curran plant, when I mentioned that, and that's like 55 million gallons a day going in, they're having trouble with
To the bay.
seagrass into the bay. They're having trouble with seagrass, was good for a while. So it's advanced wastewater treatment, but I said, with all this development going on, as you see on the map here, I says, for years, we've tried to get you to let us take that reclaimed water, swing it up to Pasco, rehydrate.
Yeah.
And to me, it's even better for them, because now Mother Nature does the work, the water flows back down, the extra water flows that would go out of the rivers would actually help them without having to do a thing, instead of spending money. But I says, at least at a minimum, you guys should, the city of Tampa and Hillsborough should work together to find out if we're gonna need more water. Let's go run a pipe from there to southern Hillsborough and put the water right where you need it. And put in those developments coming in. So they told me they had struggled with the developers actually bringing in reclaimed water. I says, well, I says, come work with our staff, we'll show you how to do it, because
Yeah,
they want
they're
it, they
having-
like it,
They're
they
having
use it.
issues with, well, a lot of that's inside the city of Tampa and all. There's a lot of concrete, a lot of streets. It's hard for them to
redevelopment
put
of
piping in those areas. But they gotta have the thought that they bring that reclaim down to these new developments and have them put in that pipe, which we do in our county.
They're not doing that.
A
They just
no-brainer.
don't seem to get the idea that they can do that, but it's there for them to do. I actually told them, and Jack was right behind me speaking, but I was saying basically, we kind of echoed him on the fact that send your reclaim water to us, because
Oh, yeah, we'll take it.
it takes 4 homes, it takes 4 homes for 1 home to water with
Yeah.
reclaimed water.
Our Parks Department doesn't have
We
enough
can
reclaimed
use
water.
extra reclaimed water.
So if you don't mind, Commissioner Oakley, just while we're
Yeah,
tagging
jump
this
in on
here,
that.
so I passed out the flyer, Mike Carbell's got one as well. So one of the things that Hillsborough County did was they sold the water rights to
about this
Tampa Bay
one?
Water, yes. So go to your second page, and it shows you that the actual groundwater use was 344 gallons per day. Flip to page 3, and it shows you that the quantity required is 344. They're getting paid for that quantity $1.2 million from Tampa Bay Water. Now, when I saw that, I had voted against the project from before because I knew they didn't always take our water stuff, and I thought we were overpaying for the water last month. And I says, there's a problem there. But I looking at this, I thought a little bit more about it. I says, we had Jasmine Lakes, Palm Terrace, Aqua Utilities, that we bought it. We had a couple of bad wells there. And I talked to them about taking it over. They says, no, we don't really need it. We don't want it. Now, those are water rights that can be used and tripled to the center part of the county if we use them. But they didn't take it from us, but we're buying it from Hillsborough. We bought it from Tico was one of the companies and another landowners. I says, well, why aren't we looking at buying from Pasco County too? I said, we should be benefiting from this. I said, matter of fact, I've got the F2A properties up and down the coast, which we should want to buy anyway, that would actually save our citizens a lot of money. So when we're done with that, they said they'd talk about it with us. And then I talked to the gentleman from U.S. Water, who'd done all the conversions for us, and I talked to those guys in the back. They go, there's actually well credits you can probably get and get reimbursed for Lindrick system. So think about that. We get money from Aqua, we can get money from Lindrick. That's going to tee us up to go buy a whole bunch more. And all these other utilities are out there.
Or well,
Money. They're getting $1.2 million.
but
Tampa Bay Water's buying their water rights for $1.2 million.
we bought Lindrick and Aqua, so what,
There's still water rights that are in that system.
oh.
So we can
So we
get,
still pump with those wells?
no, I don't
No, we
think so.
switched those to Region.
But there's benefit because you get the permit. The permit's the value.
Permits have value.
Permits have value, there's the money, and I think we should be looking at that. And then when we look at, like, the systems, 9 Florida, Land O'Lakes, Heritage Lakes, let's go look at all the ones down in 19, and let's go get the value and find out what it is, and let's go put a bigger plan together to buy out the rest of the FGAs too.
I would like to do that. I'm going to be bringing that up in my discussions.
Well, you gotta wait on me to finish, so.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about. You
Good
want-
stuff happening.
You wanted
But
you
thank
wanted
you for that
presentations.
adding on, that was good. I'm not finished, so.
No, Commissioner Starr, you wanted presentations, you got them.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I mean, we need to know
Yeah.
what's going on. Okay.
So then, we also, at the end of the day, yesterday, we went and met with the folks over at ACA. To let you know, we actually ran into the CEO, Mike Irvin, and we talked to him for a while, and actually, he knows people I know from down in Polk County. It was a very good conversation and all. A lot of people don't know it. I didn't know it till yesterday. They pay $48 million in ad valorem tax to Pasco County.
Yeah, because they're a for-profit. I had this discussion with
Yep.
them yesterday. They're
And
for-profit.
he
not
also
nonprofit.
reached out and said he would be willing to team up with us, and I'll let Mike know that, to have a meeting with him to team up to help with some projects,
Okay.
so.
And
That's,
in my items,
that's financial help, it's not,
I have a
so that's
project.
good. But, very good hospital, but one thing he wanted me to ask, if we could do it, is set up where all the commissioners and what staff you want to, but to go to ACA and get a tour of their hospital. He asked if
Wesley
we would.
Chapel?
No, it's
Which
right
one?
here,
Oh, the new one?
HCA. No, right there at Little and
The
54.
Trinity HCA?
Little and 50.
Pretty one, yeah.
Oh,
Little
I've
and
been in there.
54.
My mom was there. She didn't die there. She died at home. I've been there. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, he's invited us to go, all go as a tour, and I told him I'd present that today. Yeah.
I don't mind going again.
So if we can set that up with Mike's group and Joanna, that'd be great. All right, I'm done.
Okay, very good.
All right, I'll start with my committee report from Spring Coast Steering Committee. So the way the funding works within the Spring Coast Steering Committee, we have the presentation, Mike, or who's going to kind of go through the scoring? Branford? So there's two different kind of pots of money. So with CFI funding and other funding, there's a little bit of money in the long term.
Hang on, Seth. Are we going to see something up on the screen?
The binder that we borrowed?
I have it.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here, we just go to, we can just go, we can just.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're good. Keep on
So anyway, so there's so right now, the money in CFI is pretty much on hold or at a diminished amount because there's $600 million invested in this South Hillsborough County Transmission Line project that SwiftMud invested in, and the Polk Regional Cooperative where they're looking for their water because their water is brackish in the center of the county. And so the funding has died down quite a bit. So the Cooperative Funding Initiative funds are capped at about $2.5 million a year, where everybody who's in the Southwest Florida Water Management District is competing for that $2.5 million on the project.
Oh, so much.
And then there's an additional, in their long-term funding plan, it also includes about $6 million a year for springs projects in the northern region, what they call the BMAP, or the Basin Management Action Plan, which is where the septic to sewer projects are happening predominantly, largely, but that's in Citrus and Hernando.
Right.
But good news is, I sent it to the link to Mike through FDEP. There's a grants link for different projects that we can apply for, and Mike has that, and he can cascade that to you all when he sends it out, or if he wants it out, if y'all want it. So there were a handful of projects submitted this year for Springs funding, and the only two applicants this year were Pasco and Hernando County. And Pasco has submitted for 3 projects, and Hernando submitted for 2.
Okay.
Our predominant project is the Wesley Chapel Wastewater Treatment Plant Expansion Phase 1. And this is the highest scoring project that the committee reviewed, which ultimately we review, and it goes back to the district governing board, and then they'll vote on it. And we rank number 1 because this is removing 27,648 tons per year of nitrogen out of that system.
Nice.
And so that's part of the reason why it ranked really high. And as they went through the funding, our score on that project was 105 points, which ranked it high. And our other 2 projects ranked 4 and 5 of the 5 projects, and they ranked medium, but they'll likely not make the cut. And that's the Arepica Septic to Sewer project that scored 62. That's the lowest points. And then the Weeki Wachee Septic to Sewer project was scored 82. And then Hernando's Private Package Plant Connections, which is over near the Springs, was 89. And District A, Hernando County District A, Phase 1, not really sure what that is. I think it's in a residential community. That scored 94. So depending on what the governing board says, which is where our staff comes in, because our staff presents, there could be a potential for the lower ranked Pasco projects, but for sure, we have seemingly district staff support for the wastewater treatment plant
And
expansion.
how much were we asking for in that
So
one?
we are asking,
Who out there knows what we're asking?
here, I've got
I was going to ask Adolfo
I mean, one of
Gonzalez to
our
come forward.
August should know.
my handy
Madam
handy
Chair?
binder. So the total project cost is $9 million, and $7 million requested in fiscal year '26, with a $2 million applicant share.
Only 2 million, so it's not a 50/50.
Not for these, but
Oh,
the
nice.
interesting piece of this, and I'll let staff get to it, we have more dates to review. Where is it that we,
We'll get to you on there.
is it? Let me get them.
So when do they pick these?
So the schedule,
Spring?
there's a schedule. So the schedule goes, so the steering committee dates, that's for next year's. So we just met. So the final evaluations for approval are on February 19th. And then, July 9th, is the approval of the funding process. So that's about halfway through the year. And I think in here, we had a price per ton.
Yeah, I think it was about $11, if I
Yeah,
recall
was it?
correctly.
So our price per ton, which makes, this is a big reason why it's gonna score, it scored so high. So the money's invested, it's gonna cost us $11 per ton to remove nitrogen, which is, in my time with Swift Money here, I don't think I've seen a price that low per ton to remove nitrogen out of the system. But anyways, guy a heck of a lot smarter than me's up here, so I'll let you take it away.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Adolfo Gonzalez, Utilities Engineering and Contract Management Director. We applied for 2 grants on behalf of Pasco County. One was a $9 million Springs grant, which is the one Commissioner Waitman just finished talking about. The other one was a $7 million grant from Southwest Florida Water Management District. And that's for the Wesley Center project, which is a 4.5 million gallon per day expansion of the existing treatment facility. The total project cost, we think, is going to be around $208 million. The $9 million covers the design portion in this fiscal year. We've spread out that cost over the next 4 fiscal years.
Okay, so we're getting ready for a future massive expansion. Okay, I was wondering where we were getting our matching
Yeah.
dollars, but it's only for the design. And so we don't have to do 50/50 on that, so that's good.
No, the cooperative funding initiative, the rules, it's shovel-ready project, so that's what helps score. But until, you know, the expansion is done down in South Hillsborough, which is, we voted on it
Yeah.
when I was on the governing board then. Till that one's done, the Polk Regional Water Supply Cooperative and Manistota River and others, the funding will be limited. But the good thing is, there's ability for us to get started
Yeah,
if our
Smart.
team puts together the right projects and submits in the right ways. And plus,
we tee 'em up.
talking with Mandy Rice, Assistant Executive Director of SwiftMud, with the DEP grants portal, so for our grants team, so we might be able to shake the trees and
Good.
get some more money for water infrastructure out of it.
I think Commissioner Mariano wants to comment on the Arapika septic system.
Yeah, I heard about the,
See this?
sure. But I heard that with the Land O'Lakes one, we were ranked very high, and then right below it, what I thought was the Sea Pines project, that it would actually bring both those projects where they should be funded, and just with the governor's signature. So, well, you're
We
telling me
didn't
something
see
different I
any of
heard.
that as far as Springs go, but that's,
Sea Pines Arapika? No, it's
That-
not the same.
that's the second
All right, so
one.
you just want Arapika?
Yeah, that's, because that's in that
Alright.
zone that covers.
The BMAP.
Yeah, it's,
The BMAP area is. And the funding that was set, came down from Tallahassee, is pretty much designated
yeah, right in that zone.
for that, to be in that bullseye.
All right, so let me ask staff. So this one here, is this Arapika, does that include Sea Pines or not?
I don't think so.
No?
I think, you know, that was part of Wilton and all them cleaning up Crystal River and all those springs all along that edge, my recollection.
Oh, there we go.
The newbie.
Commissioner Mariano, no, the Arapika grant request did not include Sea Pines. Sea Pines was part of a different grant application package that was bundled with the stormwater improvements for the area as
All
well.
right, so maybe it's a different thing we're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay, thank you.
All right, good.
So my
to know.
next
Gonna be scared.
items, I have a couple more items. First, I'd like to thank Senator Fasano for inviting us out to his groundbreaking at the Lynn Angelino on the north side of 52. It's going to be a nice facility. Mr. Repa actually, I think, either sold the land at a discount or gave it to tax collector, or worked out a deal for the site. And it'll be a great area to service our folks. And Senator Fasano always does a great job in serving not just Pasco, but other folks who come in and need taxpayer services. Two other pieces, I'll save one because these might get lengthy. So on our tax discussion, I didn't find the right place to put it, but I talked with Amy and Mike about this. I think it's time that we broach the 40% of new revenue that goes to the sheriff's department every year. And I've talked to the Chase and the sheriff about this, or Chase about it, we talked to sheriff. I think it's time that we look at, as we're looking at MSTUs or how we want to structure the budget, we're really handcuffed with just giving 40% off the top. There's no secret that I want to give meaningful tax breaks to our taxpayer. And I'm sure you all have different opinion what that money can be used for or not be used for. But I'd like to structure it differently and explore a law enforcement MSTU. And I think it's time we do that, explore it for all the constitutionals with the exception of the taxpayer, and here's why. I think if it bothers me a bit that the constitutionals, they're elected and they have budgets, but yet they have no control over their budget. And we've seen over the years issues with the clerk office when I came on and back forth with the sheriff and what needs are. I think if a constitutional wants a tax increase, then they need to make a business case and say, I need more money and why. Instead of the onus just necessarily being on this board. I think everybody who, this board's a fiduciary, right? And it's our #1 job to be a fiduciary to the taxpayer monies that we take from them with no choice of their own. And I think it's time if we set up an MSTU and understand the cost, to Commissioner Marion's point of, if we look at the MSTUs, if it's worth doing for the smaller budgets like the property appraiser, the tax collector, what that would mean for municipalities, right? What we may lose if it's even worth doing. But I think it's time that we potentially look at this idea. That way, those constitutionals, I think it gives them more control over their budget and more say-so. Hey, I need an increase for this or that or the other, and they make a business case to this board or future boards. And so I'd be curious to explore that during this budget cycle, what that may look like, and get the other constitutionals to see. And I think it gives them more, more hands-on with their budgets. And it just be, I think, potentially a cleaner accounting. And so I wanted to bring that up for discussion if there was any other thoughts on that.
Well, I have some questions, but I'll go to my board first.
I made my points about the MSTU, how I feel about it. I think if you're going to go to a tax increase in any form at all, you need to put a lot of information out there. We don't get a lot of information with the sheriff's budget. I think Pinellas County gets like a 900-page document.
That's what I was going to discuss. Yeah.
We get like 12 pages, 15 pages. So if you really want to get to it, that's where we get into. I don't mind the discussion because I keep on seeing emails like we're ranked 62 out of 67 counties for the number of deputies got. Well, that doesn't count looking at the whole budget. So if you want to look at everything, it opens it up. It's worthy of discussion.
So, I don't know what that means, with taking their whole budget to an MSTU. Do businesses pay for MSTUs or just residents? But it takes out the cities.
Takes out the cities.
So, again, I guess I'll learn a lot more when we talk about the parks budget. But my challenge and my discussions with the sheriff are that I feel, kind of echoing what you're saying, Commissioner Mariano, that we don't get to understand their budget like we understand ours. And I would very much like them to participate in the budget process the same way our county departments do, so that we can, there's just more transparency. I agree, 900 pages versus 12, and I think he's agreeable to that. I had a discussion with him, and, if it, like he thinks it will, and most likely will end up with them getting more money, then they're willing to take those steps because they feel they're underfunded. And when you look at the total amount we give them versus other counties, it certainly is less. So, but we just don't have that understanding of where all the money's going and is everything being run as efficiently as possible? And I think it's a good thing to have eyes on, to let the public and others have eyes on how the money's being spent. That's a responsibility we have to the taxpayers. And but our constitutionals don't have to peel that back. So I don't know what that means to take all of their budget to an MSTU, but again, I guess we'll have those discussions when we do some kind of workshop on if we want to take the parks that way. What are the pros and cons? Is there anyone else? I know Hillsborough County, I think, funds their parks through MSTUs, multiple MSTUs. Does anyone else fund their constitutionals through MSTUs?
I don't know. But it's basically, the MSTU will grow as the county, as the county grows and the tax base grows, so it's incremental. I also view the MSTUs as a way to protect the sheriff's budget and all the constitutional's budget. We saw a couple years ago, my first budget cycle, which I'm sure, don't start shaking.
Is that the one I brought my magazine to?
But remember,
at dinner?
when we made the decision to give everybody a haircut, and it was a drop of a hat. The board made a decision with unintendedly, it cut the sheriff budget $600K. That's how quickly, say, in the future, you prepare for the future, right? This board makeup is very different. And they might potentially have a rub with law enforcement and defund the police options. With the MSTUs, I view it as a stopgap. There's multiple, public hearings to change it. You have to go through multiple public hearing schedules. It gives the people who support law enforcement opportunity several times to come and speak to the board versus just the board unilaterally making a cut, right? With no say necessarily to the public. I view MSTUs differently and use a certain way because that same premise goes with parks. It helps protect what that money's used for, in my opinion, a true generational funding fix. And it slows the role of maybe emotional decision-making because of the process where you really have to be methodical in the decisions that you make because of the structure. And so I think for a budget as large as the sheriff's office, for example, I think for the long-term health of the department and for future sheriffs, it gives them a more confidence in the ability to project for their budget needs in the future based on growth. But also, if they also want to come back to the board and say, hey, I need a tax increase, I need more money, it's going to be making a business case for a true tax increase with multiple hearings, so then the public gets to see versus just unilaterally raising it. And I think that's a very good exercise that government should go through, especially with large ticket items. And that's the same premise to the parks or anytime we use it. And I think it's important to Commissioner Mariano's point is we understand if we lose the municipalities, if we go that route, what that means. But we might lose up front, but in the long term, just like with the fire MSTU, that fund is growing very healthily, very quickly, and it's funding D-shift and everything else. The same thing would happen, it would compound the fund going forward, and then there wouldn't be this, potential conflict between the board and constitutionals over their funding. It would also give the opportunity for constitutionals, like, for example, if we went up MSTU for the supervisor of elections and the property appraiser's office, then they have the ability to come in and say, hey, roll back my MSTU, and then they have the ability to have KA lower the taxes because they don't need as much. So, it's just a different way of looking at it. For me, it's in my excitement over the budget. It's a restructuring of the budget in a way that really narrows down what the funds are for, and for me, in my opinion, it adds more transparency to those dollars. But that's just my take on it, and I'd really like to see what all that means and what's the best fit for Pasco County. And
So
for this
we need an
board.
MSTU workshop, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully I made some sense, who knows?
All right, what else you got there?
Another thing, so I've been chewing on this for a while. The prayer we do in the morning, I don't like. I think it's awful. And if we're going to have a prayer, I think we need a real prayer. The clerk made a real nice prayer a couple years ago at the YMCA prayer breakfast. And so I don't know if there's an appetite to change that prayer. We have a second vice chair, rotate a chaplain every year like Hillsborough does. But I think it's time, as well, I think we all are, with our belief system, that it's time to not have such a benign paragraph, whatever you want to call that. And I'm hopeful that there might be an opportunity to say a real heartfelt prayer every morning for this county and for the work that we do and the people that work here.
Commissioner Oakley, then Commissioner Yeager.
I'd like
Yeager?
Jeff to
Okay,
speak
go
on
ahead.
that. It's been this way we have it now. It's been that way for many years, and it was because there was issues in having, I guess, a pastor before to be able to give that prayer. The prayer we have now is a good prayer. The prayer is not based on any religion,
That's where I am with it.
and that
Ecumenical.
I think is a reason to leave it like it is.
Yeah, I don't mind if you want to change the words and say something different, as long as it encompasses all the religions that are represented in our community,
I'm looking.
for the most part.
I'm looking to see a Christian faith-based prayer. And as the other counties do, there's a chaplain, they say a prayer. It's not whatever this is in our county, and it still be read by the clerk or
Yeah,
a board member.
I can't do that.
Um,
We have other religions represented up here. So no, I'm not okay with that. Why would I want to?
I'm bringing it up for discussion. I'm
Okay.
just telling you what
All
I
right,
think
well-
about it. It's just because it's been something the way it's been for a long time doesn't mean it's right. I think you've seen that with me in this, like, I
Mr.
want to
Yeager?
see something different.
I was
So-
thinking that the same thing, even as far as maybe having like, a different pastor or something in the community at our board meetings.
So here's the challenge, because in my mind, we'd have to rotate the different faiths. And then you open it up to some that maybe you don't want to be up here. And I don't know if we can legally say, okay, we'll have a rabbi, we'll have, what are they called in the Muslim faith? I don't even know.
But in the state
Imam?
legislature. they
Imam, we'll have Christian, Catholic, or whatever, Protestant, and then we're going to have the Satan worshiper and the this and the that, and we don't want to I don't want to open that door.
In the state legislature, they have someone lead the prayer, and it's just a non-denominational prayer.
That's what we do. We do a non-denominational. He's saying to do a Christian prayer.
That prayer that
But
we raised.
it is a Christian prayer, and they will pick the pastor. They will introduce this person, pastor,
I
whoever.
think that they
in the
have
state.
rabbis too up there, if I'm not mistaken. I think there are Jewish members of the legislature, and they get to be represented too. I would ask my county attorney here, when you open the door, how wide do you have to open it?
At Swift Mud,
Madam
we
Chairman.
say a prayer before Swift Mud. Each board member says a pledge in the prayer, and it's a prayer. And I don't want some dadgum attorney telling me what we can and can't do. This board can make a decision and make what we want to do. He can give his opinion, but Hillsborough has a chaplain, and we have that's a better way than what this is.
Commissioner Marion, did you want to speak before the county attorney? Or
Yeah,
do
let's,
you want to let
let's,
the county
let's-
attorney speak?
I would. And if you take a look at the state legislature, even like in their opening ceremonies, they'll have like 3 different pastors, or not pastors, but
one person has
religious
to
folks. And they'll all say prayer. And you look at just what happened in inauguration. Started off with a rabbi, then 2 other religious folks were up there. I don't see what the problem is, and if you're going to set it up, others are doing it. I think it would mean more if you did have a person doing it as well. And if the president can do it, if the state legislature can do it, if Port Richey can do it, there's no reason we can't do it, and I want to see it done as well.
Okay, county attorney.
Madam Chairman, I mean, the prayer that you are saying now was developed in 2006 by the prior county attorney. It was designed to comply with federal law and the decisional things that had come out from the Supreme Court at that time. There have been changes over the years. But you are still governed by the law that is controlling from the 11th Circuit. And the Brevard County, as I have said to this board before, Brevard County got in trouble for allowing its board members to have religious prayer before the board meetings. What would the current Supreme Court do? I have no idea. But and there is nothing that says that you can't have a religious prayer as long as you rotate faiths. You would have to.
how big is that rotation?
Right. I have seen nothing that says that a local government can have a faith-based chaplain to give all of its invocations. In fact, that seems to squarely go against what the 11th Circuit decided in the Brevard County case. You know,
Mr. County Attorney,
yes, sir.
Madam Chair. So we're not looking for, I don't think, a prayer. I think it's the problem with what we have is just, it's such a generic thing that it doesn't do much. What we're looking for, I think, is a series of different people that can come up and pray, and let them just pray, whatever they want to say.
You can set up such a system that would pass the tests that have been promulgated so far in federal law. The problem with that is it's all denominations.
Right.
And in fact, some of what you would consider to be non-denominations are also have to be given an opportunity.
Yeah,
So
the
we wrote-
process
so we
would
fi-
open up, and we would obviously have to manage that process and maintain equity as that goes, so, you know,
If
whatever.
I may, I've had the opportunity to sit on this dais longer than anyone here. Albeit unofficially and
bragging.
filling in, but going back to 1977, I've been sitting in these board meetings and at different points in time, and there was rotation of ministers and pastors, and it was a logistical nightmare at the time. Of course, at the time, the board met almost weekly, in most cases, 4 times a month. But logistics plays a big role in that, as Attorney Steinsnyder was saying, and balancing, and it got awkward at points in time, and therefore it went in the direction of, now, do I disagree that it needs to probably be updated or refreshed? No, I agree with you, because I'm the guy reading it, you know, and along with Clerk Alvarez Souls. But the purpose is, again, is ecumenical, and the rotation of pastors and ministers opened a myriad of issues in the past.
Well, Hillsborough has a board chaplain, just like second vice chair or whatever, and it's just, and that person reads or thinks about something and says something that's, you know, it's human. And I like that style. And at Swiftmud, when we did it, we just went down the order of the 13 governing board members. Hey, it's your turn to say the prayer and pledge. You want to do it? Some would say yes, some would say no. And it was a nice way to kick off a meeting. It wasn't robotic and cold like this statement.
Why
But
not?
it was controlled by the body. It wasn't out in the public, which I think is probably a better fit to be, amongst this body and not.
Do we want to have some new prayers, or whatever we're calling it, opening prayer, brought to our attention to vote on, to change and update it?
There's a nice one, Mike, you have the clerks. I think.
Just for, we don't have to decide it today?
Worth reading. This is
Yeah.
fairly conversation.
Okay.
And
Well, I don't have anything
I
after
think
this,
it's
so I'm good.
I think it's a nice way to retailor what we have going
Right.
on with Clerk Alvarez Souls' prayer remarks and prayer breakfast.
Okay, I'm good to refresh what we say, but I just don't want to open that door to revolving show up here, personally. So, but so if you have some things, just email them to us, maybe get 3, send 3 to us, and if you guys find any that you like, or something that said somewhere else that moves you a little more, send it to all of us, and we can take a vote on it.
Let me throw one more idea out. I think the pastors have said they would actually coordinate all this for us as well. You could put a committee together to come up.
I don't want to open that door, because when you open that door, it's a wide opening.
Yeah.
And why do we want to put ourselves and the public to that? Because
We're in
Some-
elected office.
there are some that would come up here that you don't want to hear what they have to, I mean, I don't want to. Right,
Same
Commissioner
with-
Oakley?
I don't
Yeah,
wanna
that's,
hear
I mean, I don't know why you want to go that way.
If you're gonna do it that way, I'll step in when it's all over.
Yeah, same.
Comes in,
I'm
I
just
don't
not going to be
hear
part of that. But we can improve what we say, for sure.
You could have a time of silence that you say a prayer yourself to yourself. Be better.
Yeah, and there are places that do it like that. But I'd rather try see if we can get something better, a refresh. I think once you say the same thing over and over again too much, maybe it is stale,
Well, it
really.
gets stale, yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been a long time.
It has zero
It was
meaning.
stale when it was made.
It has no meaning. It
Yeah.
doesn't even make sense.
Well, the words have a lot of meaning but they, like you say, they've been used so long.
It's too much, yeah, that they're kind of vanilla.
It's lost its
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We could refresh that.
All right, thank you, that's all. No more
Commissioner
challenges.
Yeager.
All right, so just a quick update on Human Trafficking Board. They are working on their strategic plan and budgeting, thinking they're going to need a little more money for 2026 to push some TV ads at primetime spots to get the messaging out. And also just making sure that they are hitting all the places need be, like hotels, hospitals, any things we're not thinking of, to make sure we're getting our messaging and branding out. So that's for the board. This, I gave everybody a copy. There's been a recent alterations in the Florida statute regarding towing vehicles and vessels that may warrant a review of the county's resolution 22-188, which, among other things, establishes maximum towing rates for disabled vehicles. As such, I would like to ask my fellow board members to agree to have the county attorney work with staff to review and update the resolution 22-188 as necessary to ensure compliance with the statutes and update to establish rates for ancillary services that are not currently covered under the resolution. So basically, there's tow truck people, they're picking up items for free and not getting paid for them.
Yeah.
So we just
Crockett was doing that, yeah.
want to make sure, so I gave everybody the compensation sheet, but if we could relook at that, that would be great. And my commissioner items, I'll try and go super quick. The chair asked me to speak at the USF REACH program, so I was a guest speaker. And that stands for Regenerative Leadership Empowerment for the Advancement of Community Health. This remarkable 6 to 8 month leadership course brings together participants from Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco County Department of Health, along with various community partners to strengthen leadership skills and advance public health. During my presentation, I spoke about local policymaking and emphasized the critical role of collaboration between public health organizations and community leaders. We discussed the importance of creating inclusive policies that address the unique needs of each community and how working together can amplify the impact of public health efforts. So that was very interesting. And then the kids presented, the students presented their projects, and we gave them feedback. It was very interesting. So next slide. So I love this slide so much. This gentleman down there with the fire hat, he is a veteran, and he was getting, he basically was working for free just to get shelter. So he wasn't able to make any money because it would cover his housing. So I hooked him up with Kathy and the veterans, and he was in a hotel for a few months, so he was able to save money, and now he has his own place. So I partnered with Firefighter Charities, and this was so cool because we came blazing with sirens on, and the neighbors were all peeking out their windows, seeing what's going on, and he was blessed with things for his home. So he was just so moved, and it was just like this beautiful moment that I wish everybody could be there. So his name is Dwayne, and he served in the Navy, and he's on his feet and doing amazing. So
Awesome.
thank you to Firefighter Charities. Thank you to Kathy. Yep. And just Pasco proud.
What's that other fellow you helped, Bob? Bob,
Where?
what's his name? You helped him in the storm?
Oh,
They look like brothers.
no, they're
told you.
not. No,
I was wondering if that was him.
no, I have all my little friends. One day I'll give an update on all of them. So I still keep in touch with them and see them all, and they're all doing great. But this gentleman, we've kind of been mentoring him. We'd have him over like twice a month for dinner and things like that. So it's been great see his life come full circle. So
Some people bring in stray pets, and she brings
I
in
bring
stray people.
I do. I love new people.
I'm glad
love
Brad's,
it.
all I can say is, I'm glad Brad's in the picture, so he knows what's going on. Sorry. Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner
So,
Mariano.
Commissioner Yeager, you want to make a motion for this?
Oh,
just to
yes.
Make sure it happens?
Can we make a motion to, would it be to receive and file my,
To have the county attorney look at.
to have the county attorney look at the ordinance for the towing?
I'll second.
You can, yeah.
All in favor?
I took it as general consensus from the board, but
We're gonna look
motion
at
is
this.
fine.
Okay.
These changes.
I apologize. You had brought the
Yeah.
new legislation to me, and then we got storms, and
Yeah.
I
That's
didn't get
okay.
back to it.
No worries. Just didn't want to drop the ball.
Ooh, $1,800 to tow that big one.
These people are doing it for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So there was an issue that was raised, and I can, if we're gonna go down this path, that isn't covered by the statute. Apparently, there are several of the towing companies, Guardian is one of them, that is picking up things off right-of-way at our direction. And then they're going to their yards and being stored for free. I
Crockett
don't-
does that too, I think, and then they
Well,
get rid of them
that's
for free.
Guardian.
Oh,
So the question is, how does the board want to deal with that? Because if Public Works is asking them to tow, and it goes to the yard.
And then they hold it and they dispose of it at their cost.
Right.
Yeah.
So but that becomes your general fund liability, if it's not their liability. And I just don't know where the board wants, or you want us to come back with options on that?
I wouldn't mind some options, because I had a situation where we had some people that were doing work for volunteer during the storm over at Sea Ranch. They had the vehicle in the Walmart parking lot. The Walmart parking lot manager did not ask them to tow it, and they towed it away on them, and they hit them for like a bill of $1,000. So I don't mind looking at everything anyway, in case other things come up.
I'll talk with administration. We'll come back with some sort of a proposal to deal with that issue.
And also, maybe when we're looking at that, the people that tow, we were talking about.
Rotation?
Yeah, where they're just like piranha. The second somebody goes in the store, it's like they tow their vehicle.
Okay.
And it happened to someone I know, and they were like, well, it's $300 cash. So they were trying to, they have all this revenue, and they're not even claiming it because they're making people pay cash, when really you should have 3 forms of payment.
I never pay cash, just so because people don't report that to IRS and they
Yeah.
put it in their pocket.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Never
problem.
pay cash at the dry cleaners, that's my little tip there.
We'd like to clarify the record for the direction on that last, Attorney Stansnetter. The motion that was passed I think we're looking for clarification on that, or didn't catch it in the course of the discussion.
So it would be update the ordinance to comply with statute and to provide, update the resolution to provide for costs that they potentially can recover if the county asks for their services.
Okay? Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Mariano.
Okay. Do you have my pictures? So at Tampa Bay Water, it was kind of neat. We had a little presentation on the water awards. Happy to say the Pasco School Education Board got an award. First time I've seen them do that. There was a presentation done with the Tampa Bay Butterfly Foundation, and they do work all over the region. And my thinking was part of the money they got for the grant is to go spend money on plants that make butterflies come around. And I thought it was something where I reached out to her and I said, I'd like to reach out with you, maybe try to give you some funding to help you with our tree mitigation fund, where it can actually, if those plants fit, that maybe we can help work with you in Pasco County. So I'm going to give it to the administrator to take a look at it, but that's a flyer, what they got on there, but nice presentation. And again, Tampa Bay Water looked at it, they liked the program, so they enhanced it, so I think it's a good idea. An opportunity coming up, I'm going to mention to the school board, as well as there was a Marine Academy too that got a sponsorship of money too. We've got an academy, I think we should be looking for that next year as well. But, so I brought up earlier when we talked about the homeless population as far as Brazilian peppers, is there a will for the board to actually look at putting it into ordinance? I think Hernando County did one, and maybe we only enforce it when we're having these homeless issues, when we decide to
Well, I think we need to
execute.
start going after, just like the Kogan grass. You know, Hernando County, you cannot have Brazilian pepper on your property. And we have turned our backs to it, and so therefore it's spreading.
So I think last time we brought this up, we get in a whole myriad now, and it's coming back to me now. We get to a whole bunch of other things. I want to just isolate on Brazilian peppers and keep it at that. So if
Well, we're already doing Kogan grass, so
and
I would
that's
add
good.
it to it.
And that's
Yeah.
good. So let's do Kogan grass, but just add Brazilian peppers, not get into that whole letter, 2 pages of documents of other things. But,
Yeah.
and then if we can force it, we'll say, if you've got homeless people, we're going to make you enforce it, or choose our strategy from there. But maybe have staff bring us back something. So I'll make a motion, staff brings back something about Brazilian pepper ordinances that we can look to implement.
So specifically, can I ask clarification here? This is to outlaw these? I mean, I think we.
Eradicate within an X amount of time.
So, and if they don't, it's a code violation, and then?
Yeah.
We want to set a procedure up, but yeah, bring something back along that line.
Okay, and so this is just for eradication, it's not to go on to private property and eradicate? I'm just trying
Well,
to
they're
follow
gonna,
this.
no,
to
but
the
they're
home.
gonna have to get rid of it eventually.
I mean, we would treat it like a pool fence or something like that. We can work the details out, but.
No, I don't think that the commissioner is asking the county to go in and remove the Brazilian pepper. It would be in areas that could cause a brush fire, that it's not
That's
being
baby
controlled on,
Understood.
on the property.
That's what I was thinking.
Or that allow people to live behind it.
I deliberately didn't.
Just what Jeff said.
Okay. Oh, anything else?
That's all I have to think. Oh, actually, one more thing. So.
Oh,
A motion? Have a
motion.
second?
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
So, just today, I got a notice from someone who was with the company that took over Nye, Florida, where they were charging them wrong. And they,
What, Florida?
Nye, Florida, it's now another company, I think.
Little utility.
So,
Oh.
in this, they found out that they were in violation of the Florida Administrative Code rules and its tariff. So I'd like to probably work with David and Mike to kind of look at what are the violations may have been going on. There's like 3 of them on here. And I want to try to do an awareness to the people out there that this private utility's been in trouble for many, many years. All they do is sewer and no water. Their rates are like triple what our rates are. Very detrimental to the area. And we've tried to buy them before Bob Bamman sold. Nye wouldn't sell to us. Nye sold to another company. That company, we tried to get to them. They still wouldn't sell to us. So I want to go to the public and find out how they've been treated, what they've been going through, and if I see there's more and more violations, I want to forward them all to the PSC to create a record and file and give these people some leverage.
Would it be more appropriate for your office to handle that, Jack, versus just?
I can, but I might need some coaching as far as like things to look at.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, County Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess I just want to first thank the board sincerely for the conversation we had around the budget today. I thought it was very bold. I thought it was very thoughtful, and really the focus on the strategic plan and the other elements of the budget will go a long way. I know Amy and the team took copious notes. So again, I thank you for that. I thought it was very, very good and very inspiring. Again, it goes a long way to providing continuous transparency in the process that we've been striving to do these past couple of years, and so I just thank you for that. Madam Chair, I have just 2 items that I would ask for board action on. The first is related to the clerk of the court. We have an auditing agreement with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, CRI, you may hear them referred to, and that agreement is dated September 20th, 2022. That auditing agreement operates by us signing engagement letters each year with CRI, and so every year they need a new engagement letter to be signed so they can go forward and perform our audits. In the past, that was delegated to the county administrator to execute that, but we only did it for that 1 year. So what I would like for the board to do is request that under this current contract, that if you could delegate to the county administrator authority to sign these and all future engagement letters under the agreement with CRI dated September 20th, 2022, so we can get these audits underway and meet the timelines required.
You're talking about the comprehensive countywide audit?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Harold.
So what, we need a motion?
Please.
I'll take a motion.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Board, appreciate that. The other motion is, you'll notice that on the consent agenda today, item C3 was withdrawn. That is for the award of the construction for Fire Station number 2. I was informed that the reason that was withdrawn is because we didn't have a budget amendment in place. Given the criticality of getting fire stations online as quick as possible in alignment, I'd prefer to go ahead and make that award once we get that budget, get the mechanics of the budget amendment finalized this week, and then I can go ahead and sign that agreement so we can move forward with it. Otherwise, we'll have to wait until the next board meeting.
Madam Chair?
Discussion first.
Yeah, Mike, on that item, we had talked about trying to look at what we're doing as far as what we're putting in our fire stations. Are there some savings we can make? And I don't recall us actually going through that. If there are some savings, and I mean, I've got contractors that have told me that the way we're set up, these specialty things make only specialty contractors can do it. Drives up the cost, limited supply of people doing it. So I would like to, as I had said before, to take a closer look at how we're spending our money. If we can bring this number down to what it costs us for fire stations, I think it's something we need to do. I think the fire station we're building are awesome, but if we can save money, especially at this point in time where the GO bonds are tapped out, I think it's something we need to go take a look at. And I, like I said, I have asked for this, and I think I've heard support from the board as well to dig into this, try to save money.
Okay, yeah, I think we've made some efforts there. I'll let Assistant County Administrator Murphy speak to that.
Hey, Commissioner, I just wanted to inform you, we did meet, the fire leadership, sat down with Eric's team and facilities, and
The most cost-effective thing would be that
2020.
you'd be doing it at the 26 primary
Okay.
or general.
Okay.
Would be the time that you'd go out.
Well, we'll have a discussion on that and see what the board's pleasure is to move forward.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Just one thing, as far as the budget goes, I want everyone to just remember the chart that we saw earlier today. When it comes down to the funding, we're at 28 out of 67 for average total property tax millage rates. We're at 30th on per capita government property tax levies. On per capita taxable value, we're at 42.
I think that one we're climbing up quickly, hopefully.
So what I'm just trying to say is, I'm tired of seeing responses with the sheriff's office saying we're ranked 62 or 61 out of 67 for the number of deputies we got. When I look at the way we fund things, once he's got his budget, it goes on. But clearly, we're not out of much of a bad range with what we're doing between collecting what we're spending. So I think it is a good discussion to have. So we need to be clear as far as what's going on, transparent.
Okay. Okay, anything more for you?
Nope, that's it.
Pass.
Okay. So I'll give my report real quick on the Tourism Council. Basically, I'll just summarize this, saying our numbers are up. It's nice, because we went down a little bit. For example, our tourist tax collection increased 76%. So that's a nice little bump. We had our Florida seniors, that senior games return. We had the Tampa Bay Christmas Invitational back for the 5th year in a row. And I know I've met with, so Davin Suggs, who's at FAC, his wife is the chair of the Florida Foundation, Sports Foundation, and she loves having events in Pasco County. So we're very lucky there, have a great relationship. And we had a group of renowned travel writers at the Kumquat Festival in Dade City this year. So it'll be fun to see those stories come out on the Kumquat Festival.
And Madam Chair, on the senior games, I finished 3rd out of 24 in my flight.
Get out of here. You participated
I did.
in the golf?
I tell you, they ran a great show.
Oh, you know, huh?
This is your golf game?
Yeah.
Did you like that golf meeting yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. We may have some fun things to talk about golf in the future. We'll see how that moves forward. Okay, so photos. I also attended the Pasco Economic Forecast Luncheon. I came in just in time because I was chairing the Tourism Development Council, but that was an interesting update and good to see a sold-out room again. As some of you might remember, I started a number of years ago the South Harbor's Leadership Council meeting, which are my HOAs, COAs, civic associations in the southwestern part of Pasco County, and they're very well received. You guys may want to do this in your areas. Yours is a little different, but I started one for the Trinity, Odessa area. So we had quite a turnout. So these are all people who represent different HOAs and CDD districts within Trinity and Odessa. And we had a great presentation. We started off, let me think if I can remember who we started off with. DOT, he was here. He gave a great update in the area on what's going on with DOT and 54 and 19 and the Suncoast. And the folks there had great questions on traffic signalization and brought up safety concerns on certain intersections. So they were so happy to have this forum to talk to DOT. Then we had traffic ops, and then we had Nick Urin talking about all things with engineering and roads, and then we finished with Public Works, and they brought a whole team, but it was just a really, really good meeting, and I'm really grateful to all the staff that came. I got lots of compliments and emails afterwards from the different neighborhoods saying how much they appreciated getting all that information about their county. Next. So I am honored to have been honored with being called, I don't know what the word is. I've been awarded one of these Women of Distinction awards. It was very nice that Commissioner Merman and Commissioner, what's her name, from Pinellas County, who's retired now. I'm drawing a blank on her name. They both came to this event because they had in the past been Women of Distinction. So they came to the event because I was there, and there will be a luncheon on March 12th, and we'll have information if anyone wants to go. But it's really nice when Pasco gets recognized because we usually are passed over. And this is put on by the Girl Scouts of West Central Florida. So I want to thank them for honoring me in Pasco County. Attended the Tri-County Workshop. I thought it was really good. And I mentioned to you already about the opioid discussion, and I thought we really shone brightly when they said, we're thinking about doing this, and we're going to ask about doing that, and we said, and we have done this. So that was really good. What was really great to hear, too, was the commissioners from Hillsborough. I was a little worried there on that new one from Pinellas County for a second, about our regional efforts on mass transit, a transit solution. And I thought it was really positive discussion. I don't know if Jack, if you want to add to it, but I thought we really moved the ball forward.
I think we did. The only problem I had with the whole meeting was having to take a picture standing up next to Seth. He's like a foot over everybody.
I was talking about, don't let it fool you. I was whispering sweet nothings in his ear about his wonderful golf game.
Seth, everyone there's in a tie, but you, oh, no, Josh is not in a tie, neither is.
Lala's not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, Vala's not,
There's a whole
yeah.
bunch
Eggers
of-
isn't.
Eggers
All right, I'm
isn't.
going to take that back. Jack's in a tie.
No, it was
Two
a
county
great meeting, though.
administrators aren't in a tie. Commissioner Bowles isn't in a tie.
And Madam Chair, the next one is May 2nd, and that will be here in Pasco County. So
Where are we going to do it?
We are working on that, so any input you want to provide, you can provide
Yes,
to
I wanna-
Joanna, and we'll,
I want to look at the old Target building.
or Santander is.
Yes, Santander. Either in that, it could be in that atrium between the two or in that building somewhere. I know it's an empty building, but it's a great location for all of them to get to, and it's big enough. So if that guy's willing, it's got great electronic, setups in there. So it's a thought.
Okay, any feedback, just provide. and
Because
we'll-
we have
we'll
also
sort.
invited the Tampa City Council to come to that meeting. Yeah.
I have one thing I forgot earlier.
Okay, but wait, but let us finish this discussion for a second. So we've invited the Tampa City Council, and if we put it too far into the county, I don't think we'll get them.
Okay.
So, what, did you guys talk about the Tampa City Count? Did you administrators talk about that?
Well, we think it's, there's a degree of difficulty that will come with that, but, we're up for the challenge if the respective boards want that.
It'll be fun.
We did say that we wanted it at the meeting.
Yep,
Who was
you did.
there? You, Seth? Yeah, Jack?
Just a bigger
Now, I heard mayors at the meeting versus councils, but
Oh. Well, see, the mayor doesn't control her council members, and it's her council member, especially one, who keeps trying to derail everything. What do you think?
Let's try mayors first.
All right, we'll try mayor.
the other
Yeah.
issue is which cities, right? So we discussed Tampa and St. Pete, and of course, don't forget Pinellas has about 24 other
No,
municipalities.
just the ones that were T-BARTA cities, and this is about moving forward with the BRT.
Okay, I'll take that back and have that discussion with the other administrators.
And I was supposed to go speak on that in Hillsborough County tomorrow morning, on the grant that Hillsborough, their MPO, they call it a TPO, received to study the different ways to, I guess it's to kind of merge our MPOs, and there was a big announcement coming yesterday, but they've canceled it. I don't know if they canceled it. They said because they couldn't get everyone together. It might be because the grant's now on hold. So maybe, who knows where that is. So anyway, I won't be at that meeting tomorrow.
Madam Chair, something that could come out of this meeting that might be good that you just kind of like made me think a little bit. With President Trump now in office, he hates a bureaucratic mess. So sitting all those years in the TMA, when we finally get CSX to come to the table, where they're giving us the run the line from Brooksville down through Tampa, and now Tampa's taken over the Con Ag site, so it can go right to the heart of Tampa, and the other site running from Oldsmar that would go all the way around up to the new bridge. I mean, maybe this is something we need to do federally coming up, because if Trump can say, CSX, get it together, if you're not using something, we're going to take it back, something might work.
Let's huddle on that one about
Yeah.
going to Washington and getting that discussion going about a big impediment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the topics that we agreed that we would talk about the next time was how the different counties were going to use their HUD money, because each one of these counties got hundreds of millions of dollars, but we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, those action plans are due, I think, mid to late April. So,
April 15th,
yeah, the timing.
tax day.
May be right. We'll have the discussion.
All right, so, okay, enough on that one, unless there was any other discussion that you thought worthy to tell the commissioners that weren't here. Didn't we talk about, oh yeah, Tampa Bay Water made a presentation. All right, I donated from some of my leftover money, 5 cricket machines to the cultural center, because crickets are kind of computerized cutting machines. You can cut metal, paper, fabric, wood, and I got them to do a class. And when I didn't get to participate in the class. I have 2 crickets and I love it. When I went to the class, the instructor had one and nobody in the class had one, so they were all just watching. So it's like, this isn't what it was meant to be. And they said, well, we don't have any crickets. So I donated 5. 4 of them are just regular ones, and one's a super duper one, and some other equipment there. So, so hopefully we'll be seeing more classes there. And you know what? There's a lot of women who have businesses on Etsy from their crickets. And you know who had one? John Gallagher's former assistant, Mary. Do you remember Mary? Not Mary. And she worked for Schrader. Did she work for you for a little bit, Mary?
She started for me. That's when I hired Marie.
Yeah.
She came and took Mary's
Because Mary had a business doing great on Etsy, so she retired and went off on her business. So anyway, that was fun to donate that. Then last Thursday, we had our 11th annual manufacturing dinner and AmSkill's 10-year anniversary. Thank you, Commissioner Mariano, and Mike Carballa was there. Some other county people were there.
David Engel?
David Engel was there.
We had our utilities team, which have been recipients of a lot of those graduates.
Yeah, and I thought Mitchell, the one that went to Germany, was going to come up and speak, but it was a sold-out room, and I only wish we had had donor cards on the table, because that lady who spoke about Maddie's movement, who lost her daughter in a car accident and now works with foster kids, was a great speaker, and we now work with foster kids at AmSkill. So thank you all, and more great things to come from AmSkills. Did the Moffett site tour. We all talked about that. Gave my tourism updates. Let's see. You mentioned human trafficking, and I just wanted you to know at AmSkills we have started a class for trafficked women. And the centerpieces at the AmSkills dinner were made by them. And when Moffett came and visited us a couple weeks ago, and they heard what they were doing, they hired them to make centerpieces for an event they're doing. So they come once a week, and one of them is actually has the courage now to go. She's attending our next boot camp that starts next week.
Nice.
So that group of women is called Created Class. Yes.
Something with trafficking, other counties do this, is they require, depending on the vendor and the procurement, the vendor to have a human trafficking course. No, it goes through certain employees.
Oh,
And
to
then
be
their
able to
employees
identify?
train their employees that are out and about.
Yeah, that's good.
And it seems to be pretty successful, say Tampa, Hillsborough. It's a little bit more cumbersome on the person who's procured, but, I mean, it's
I've
a
heard of that,
proactive
yeah.
ability. And if you want to do business with the county, we're working on this. Hey, you want to be a vendor here? It might be something worth doing.
So it's a good point. So the timing, I had a meeting with our senior directors last week, and we had members of the human trafficking group come out and speak. And, I've mandated that all of our employees take that course, or a course or something similar for awareness. I'll discuss with purchasing to see what kind of training that can be extended to vendors. Again, we leverage them. I look at them as extensions of staff, right? And so let's have the conversation. Obviously, I don't want to get into contracts and that kind of stuff, but, right now is just as being a person and being on the lookout for that type of stuff. I think there's merit to that.
Okay, and so I've told you all, I've asked our staff to test the Odessa lakes for contamination. I'm very interested to see what that's going to show. Mike and I participated in a NACO housing discussion, and we're going to go for that grant, right? It was very enlightening, and they have some money for counties that are over 500,000. It's competitive, but we think we fit the bill perfectly. And lastly, well, two things. Please, Mike, don't forget about Swift Mud and Starkey Ranch and the preserve. I need to get answers on those things.
Yep, I actually wrote that down today.
Okay, and so there's something floating in the water behind my house at Gulf Harbors. We think it could be someone's dock or something, and who's responsible for that? Something from the storm, I think it's not a boat, it's something that's gonna hurt somebody.
Marine Patrol.
Why is that
probably.
funny? I mean, it's dangerous.
I would guess.
It's a hazard to navigation.
Yeah.
But
Is that us or Coast Guard or?
We can make a phone call.
I don't know. I have no idea who to call.
Is it still there, or did it float
Yeah,
away?
well, it was there Sunday morning. But it's been making the rounds in that area where a lot of flats fishing folks go. And I don't know what it is. It's a little scary to go boating right now. There are pylons missing for channel, there's channel markers missing everywhere.
That's parks with the channel markers.
Oh, yeah?
and yeah, I did
So,
ask that one.
so we're missing a bunch of channel markers, but they're not all in our county, also in Pinellas County, because we got our new boat and brought it up, and it was tough to find our way, I'll tell you that. That's it for me, but you had something else.
I have something else, I forgot.
Mhm.
I missed the Tri-County, which I regret missing it, but the fact of it is, WREC had invited me to Ronnie Deese's retirement party
Oh,
at
nice.
WREC, so I had to go there, so I couldn't do both and be there at the same time, so. It was very well attended by a lot of people, and it'd been there, I think, 31 years or so. Long time that he's been there, and he and I had a great relationship on a lot of different issues. It wasn't necessarily always Ronnie's way, but he was always pushing for Billy Brown to do a lot of things out in the Glucoochee area especially.
Yeah, he was a big fan.
And I supported those moves, and we still support those, and we're actually moving forward with a lot of things that third business with the pipe companies, actually, they're moving on construction of their property, so.
Good.
So that's really good for the county. And then one of the things, Metropolitan Ministries reached out to get 30 arm passes for 30 kids. I don't know which kids or whatever, but I have told them today I would take care of that for them, because that's money for the fair. They need their money.
Oh, passes for the fair?
Yeah,
Okay,
for rides, not passes.
okay.
Get them passes, they're free. The ride armbands are $25 a piece, and they want 30.
Wow.
So I've told them I'd give them the $7.50 to
Nice.
take care of that. And, but they act like they didn't have money, but I give them a check every year, so I don't know. They keep asking for things, so, anyway. But that's Metropolitan Ministries that I'll, help support them on that.
Thank you,
for the
appreciate
fair.
that. In
There's
front,
a boycott, also, there's a boycott on the fair.
really?
Because
Why?
one vendor couldn't get his spot because he missed out on it last year, and they had to fill that spot last year, and this year, the person didn't call till this week, and it's the last minute, and that spot's already rented out.
When is
and-
the fair?
The week of President's Day in February.
Yes, in February.
17th or 18th is the President's Day week. Opens on Monday and goes.
18th or 20, I forget when the exact date of the
Are they doing that
fair.
milking thing?
I don't know, I haven't heard that,
Okay.
so I will find out for you, so, and when you're in Dade City, then I'll tell you whether we're having it or not.
So I will not be at the next board meeting. I will be in Colorado, so.
Where?
Colorado.
Well, we can't all go to Colorado and ski.
No, but Jack, you will be chair next, next.
The
and
fair
you'll be-
opens
Now,
on the
that's
17th.
Yeah.
exciting and
Okay.
interesting. So,
I want to draw your attention to this. This is the county commission's first community food distribution. And I was going to miss it because I had to go speak in Hillsborough, but now I'll be there. So it's tomorrow on Mile Stretch, and there's a whole list of people going. I'll be there, and I hope that you can, I think some of your staff are coming if you guys can't make it. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be there, and my staff, so.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Can I add to that real
Yeah.
quick? Yeah, no, and this is, the team has done a wonderful job of working on this. I would just like to thank your aide, Katie, for her help on this, Tony over here, as well as our volunteer manager, Sarah Solkrum, for kind of helping to set this up. So we look forward to that.
Yeah.
I also did have an update regarding the debris in the water. We do, if
Oh,
it's
okay.
storm-related, we do have a contractor, apparently, who is handling water debris.
Okay.
And so we'll take a look at that and see if that qualifies, because I know our parks team does not. And then if not, we'll go through the normal channels of navigable stuff with Marine Patrol and those folks.
All right, so I have my Harbor South Leadership meeting, I think, tomorrow. And those are all coastal communities, not all of them, but who do I tell them to call tomorrow?
Right now, I mean, I guess you can call our solid waste department through our
Solid
debris
waste?
pickup.
Okay, we'll have a number for them tomorrow. You know,
Did a
that,
great job in cleaning up of all the debris.
oh, we did. I have had so many compliments of people who live in our county and have friends in other counties that were amazed, you know, how well we did.
Well, we started early, and I'm
We did.
happy to say we're finishing early. I know we're hovering at that 95% number right now. So, yes, kudos to the solid waste team, our contractors, and I know this has been a long journey. I told you from the get-go, it was a marathon, not a sprint, but we really made a difference there for the community, and so I'm just happy that the team
It
pulled
was a
together.
great move also to hire John Power, who has done that before
Yeah.
in our county.
Yeah, that was good.
And it went very smooth with him, so.
I don't know if this related to the storm, but I've been looking online. I think I sent a screenshot of this to Branford, that the folks in Holiday, is that Aloha? They're saying their water really smells, and that, has anyone noticed that the water is smelling funny? So, I don't know how you test that stuff,
You
but
could reach out to FGUA. I mean,
yeah, a lot of people
odor's
started
a
chiming in on it.
secondary.
Holiday Lakes in that area. And, let's see, human trafficking has okay, I guess that's it. All right,
Madam
so
Chair?
oh, yes.
So just as well as, thanking John Powers, I tell you, the team, Kevin Plisker and John Batista, phenomenal to work with every step of the way. And I want to tell you, I was talking today on the radio, we're talking about the pickup that went on, and with Trump talking about getting rid of FEMA for a lot of good reasons. One of the best reasons, I think, is just being us able to hire our local people, because we had so many local businesses that got out there and get to work, and they worked so hard, so strong, all the way through to get that done. So as far as like getting it done, when you get the local heart people that really care about the community, what they did, and they did a great job every step of the way, clean and proud of the neighborhoods. I mean, those guys, we're lucky to have them all.
And the money stays in Pasco County.
Great thing, yes.
And you know, if, in that regard, that Kevin didn't get picked, if that does change and the focus goes back to the state level, it's really good to have Kevin in Tallahassee. So all things happen for a reason, and maybe that's going to be a really good plus for us. Reminder about NACO and our legislative conference in the end of February, so I'm hoping that we'll have a good contingency. Ralph, you're working on our stuff, okay? And, we've got friends in the White House now, so maybe we get a little special White House invite.
And Madam Chair, it might be good for us to take a look, if we can extend our stay a little bit, so we're not right in the midst of everything that's going on, because that big forum that they have is phenomenal to touch all the federal agencies.
Yes.
But I think if we can work to a day or two, that we can get some appointments with our electeds, we got Ballard up there as well, so somehow coordinating with them to make these things happen, I think will go a long way.
Okay, well, I was going home that last night, but I can stay another day.
Okay.
If we have some, good things going on. I'm going to try and get Attorney General Bondi to speak to the Republican Club at NACO. I just have to get that date, but I'm going to try and get her to come speak to us.
Awesome.
Okay. Am I allowed to say that up here?
Yeah, you can.
I take it all back.
She's elected. Oh, she's
We're
appointed.
adjourned.
Hey, don't forget Diamond.